Hello all, and greetings from Nigel's. Today we're going to be doing some more apple tasting, and we've got 12 apples in the front here. Well, we've got 3 though. What's the reason for that?
I don't know. I think because they're a bit smaller, and I put 3 on there.
Oh yeah, you got 3 over there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to be having a little apple tasting. We're also going to be doing, we're probably going to be doing another one, aren't we? So there'll be several of these.
Yeah.
And if you've watched the apple tasting recently, you'd have noticed that Nigel's actually put a description explaining what the apples were. He's going to do the same with these. He'll put it in the comment section so you know what everything is.
Yeah, I can't remember a year when we've had so many varieties that have ripened well. And I thought about finding 12 varieties for today, and I went around the garden and I didn't get halfway round and I got 12. So we'll probably do another in a few days with about the same number again.
So I was just checking it was recording.
Oh,
you know, I double and treble check these days.
Well, yes, it's very frustrating. I do a little bit of, I play the piano and I record piano music, and sometimes I play a whole piece really well and then go back and blank recording.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting a bit like my dad. He checks the doors before we go to bed 3 times. Make sure the water's off, because we always switch our washing machine off the water because we've been flooded in the past.
Well, I told you, didn't I, yesterday that I was picking my mum up to take her to Lutterworth, and I went straight past the turn. I was thinking about something else, and I was 2 or 3 miles down the road before I realised she wasn't there.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time,
Yeah.
folks. I don't know whether it happens to you. It'd be interesting to know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what we're having our cup of tea.
Yeah.
You can see Nigel's eating a chocolate cake. See, I'm a healthy eater, you see, so that's why you don't see me with any.
How many slices of chocolate cake have you just eaten?
I actually just ate 2 pieces before we got to the table. It's lovely. It's Alice and Nigel's wife's. Oh, she makes lovely chocolate cake.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So, shall I start? Make a start with these?
Make a start.
I've tried to arrange them roughly in order of sourness going to sweetness, because if you taste something that's really sweet and then you taste something that's relatively sour, the sour one always tastes pretty bad because
it sticks in your mouth.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. So I've tried to arrange them roughly in the order I think, going from less sweet to more sweet.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now the first apple here is called
Do you
Wixon.
want me to?
Yeah. It is called Wixon. It's quite small. They don't actually get any larger than this, about as big as golf balls. And some people say that this is one of the best flavoured American apples. This was grown in the garden here. I sent some cuttings by a person who grew this, and I've made my own trees. And it's quite tart, but it's really concentrated taste. What do you reckon to that?
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's sweet, but it's sour and tart at the same time. It's loads of sugar, but loads of acid as well. And I really like that. You wouldn't want to eat a lot of them, but it's the sort of thing if in your lunchbox you could perhaps put an ordinary sweet apple and one of those as well.
Unless you've got a big appetite.
Well, yeah. But they're a little bit acidic, so you wouldn't want to eat more. I don't think you'd want to eat more than one of those.
No.
Well, perhaps you would. I don't know.
Well, I could quite easily eat a few of those.
Yeah. So yeah, quite a nice apple, that one.
So that's Wixon, and that's a California.
Yeah, that's a Californian apple.
Oh right.
It was bred. Well, it was bred in California. I think it was bred about 50 years ago, and we were doing an apple tasting at an apple event last year, and someone came up to me and said, I know what those apples taste like. And I said, I bet you don't, because it's a very rare apple and it's not English. And the chappie said, well, I live in California and that's where I tasted it. And so he was exactly right, because that's where it comes from. Right, the next one is also from California. This was bred by a guy called Albert Etta, and it's called Grenadine. There you go.
Look at that, folks.
Yeah, now it's really dark inside, as you can see. I hope that's in line with the camera.
Yeah.
And it looks spectacular.
The taste is very nice, but it's got some sort of, when you chew it, it kind of feels funny.
Yeah, it's sort of
texture based.
Yeah, the texture is peculiar. It's a little bit, I'd call it powdery.
Yeah, that's the word.
It's sort of dry somehow.
Yeah.
And it's not quite right.
But it's got a lovely taste.
Yeah, lovely taste. And if you keep that apple for a week or two, it gets drier and bitter. It doesn't keep at all, that apple.
Right.
Doesn't keep well. And it goes, instead of having this deep crimson, when it starts to mature or go off, whatever you want to call it, it goes to a deep purple that looks very, very odd. But an interesting fruit, and you can imagine if you cook with it, you get pink apple crumbles. And, and it's nice on fruit salads because it gives a nice tart flavour mixed in with other fruit. This one, I think it originates. Oh, by the way, I can't remember if I said the name of this one. This is Grenadine. Grenadine. The third one we're looking at is called Red Sauce, and this one I got from a collector in Belgium. I've never tasted this one before, but I know they're ripe because they've all fell off the tree 1 or 2 days ago. And it should be a red-fleshed apple, but whether or not it's sort of red-fleshed, it's mottled.
Right.
Yeah, here we go. So it's not fully coloured up this year for some reason. And I guess it's probably going to taste a little bit like the last one. Oh, it's juicier.
You know what, Nigel?
We
could do one of these apple tasters every day.
They're interesting, aren't they? Because the tastes are so different.
They are, yeah. It's a shame you can't taste these, folks, because they're lovely.
Yeah, that's quite good. Quite like that. It tastes a bit lemony somehow, a bit citrusy. But not quite citrus, but it...
You know what? You can't really compare these to any of them what you buy in the shop, can you?
No, it's difficult to describe them. Yeah. A bit more.
Yeah.
It's nice and juicy, I like that. And there's not much tannin in it, there's no bitterness in it at all. Right, the next one is an English apple. This is called Claygate Pemaine.
Now that Pemaine, I'm familiar with that name somewhere. I think you mentioned it.
Yeah, there are a lot of Pemaines.
Right.
Some of them actually taste a little bit like pears.
Right, but hence the name, pear.
I think so, yeah. I think it must be derived from that.
Right.
But this one I don't think doesn't taste like a pear. Yeah, try that. That's, well, I reckon that I would describe that as a sort of fairly mainstream apple taste.
Yeah, it's not so. It doesn't stick out so much, does it? It's a bit more plainer.
Yeah, it's sort of middle of the road apple.
Yeah.
Perfectly nice though, perfectly okay. And I'd still rate it higher than anything like Jazz or Gala. Because it's not as sickly. Some of those supermarket apples are so sweet that they are a bit cloying. You know, a little bit, bit too
I like
sugary.
an apple that's crunchy.
Would you describe that as crunchy?
Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah. One year when we'd had this, a few years ago, the apples tasted of pineapple.
Wow.
Yeah. Right, we come to another Californian apple now. This is called
Hidden Rose.
Hidden Rose.
Now that's got quite a unique shape to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've found that there are two sorts of Hidden Rose apple. There's the one that's sort of almost like an egg shaped, like that.
Yeah.
And there's another sort that's more or less the same, but the shape is more spherical.
Right.
There seem to be two sorts of tree. This usually has quite a nice...
Oh, look at that.
There we go.
Oh.
Another one of those.
Mm. Mm. Now this is a crispy one. Mm.
Nice flavour.
Yeah.
Oh, just crisp, isn't it?
Mm.
It tastes a bit of berries somehow.
This is the crispiest one so far.
Yeah, yeah. Quite good, that. It's got another name as well, Early Red Flesh.
So folks,
Mm.
this is just proof that I do eat fruit, you know, because you see me eating a lot of meat. I do like my apples.
Now, we've got one of local interest here.
Now, is that not a crab apple?
No, it's they don't seem to come much bigger than that. But this is an apple.
Is that? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's a sweet apple that we found locally in the middle of the dual carriageway near Sutton in the Elms.
Right.
And the reason that I've grafted some trees, this is the first time our trees have had any apples on, is that it's got an unusual flavour. On the original tree, the apples tasted of honey, and I'm hoping these do. But let's just see. Well, not really honey, is it?
No, but it tastes nice.
Tastes good, yeah.
Mm.
Now that's the first apple that's ripened, and it's not quite ripe. So we will taste this again in 2 or 3 weeks when we've got some riper apples, because we've got quite a lot on the tree.
So here's a question for you, Nigel. We've got different size apples.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why are some small and some are large? Could it be that, you know, like the human population 100 years ago, the average size of a woman was about 5'1", and now they're 5'7" or even higher?
Yeah.
Do you think it maybe that some of the apples have just not developed, they've not changed with the environment? Or do you think, what I'm saying is, do you think a lot of these other size could have been smaller at one point?
I don't know. I don't really think so. I think perhaps their ancestors might have been a bit smaller. But every time you sow a pip, you get a totally different variety.
Okay.
And
It's worth thinking about, isn't
well,
it?
it is, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
about these things sometimes.
But I'll tell you an interesting observation. If you cross 2 apples, say that size,
Yeah,
right? If you cross those together, put the pollen of that one, say, on the flowers of that
yeah.
one, and you get some apples, you take the pips and you sow them. Usually, the size of the apple you get, on average, is about 30% lower than the average of the 2 parents. So there's a natural tendency for apples from pips to be smaller than the parents.
Right. So in that case, some of these smaller ones might have been crossed from some of the bigger ones in
Yeah.
the past.
They might be from thrown away commercial apples, from
Yeah.
apple cores or something like that.
Right. Hmm.
Mm.
There you are, folks. You've learnt something there, and so have
Yeah.
I.
Right, so we'll try the Sutton Elms apple again in a week or 2.
Okay.
Right, now this one, Rouge, this is a German apple, and it was planted commercially for a short time in Italy. We tried it last time in September, and it didn't taste very good, but I found the later apples have got bigger and sweeter.
Okay.
So we're giving this one a second chance. There you go. It's yet another of the red-fleshed apples. The first time we tried it, they were a bit sour and they hadn't coloured up very well.
This is the least favourite so far.
Let's see.
It's got a funny taste. It's very soft as well.
Oh, it's soft and sweet. Yeah, not my favourite.
No.
No.
In fact, to be honest with you, I don't really fancy that.
Okay, let's put that in
Let's
there
put
then.
that. So there you are, folks.
Okay,
So,
thumbs down
thumb
then.
down
We
to that one.
don't want that one.
Oh no. It's
No.
got a bit of a leaves a bit of.
It does. It's a bit. There's a bit of a sourness afterwards, isn't there? Yeah, don't like it.
No.
Right, the next one is called Zorza, which apparently is Polish for dawn. That means the early part of the morning, I think. And it's from a lady that I was in correspondence with in Poland. And if you just take that, what can you feel on it?
Oh, it's like. What would be the word? It's greasy kind of.
Yeah, it's really, really sticky and greasy.
Yeah.
And you smell it.
Oh yeah, it's got a funny smell.
What does it smell of?
Could it be pineapple?
Yeah, that's right. It's actually giving off the same compound that you can smell on a ripe pineapple. And in fact, the flavour of this, I tasted one of these the other day, the flavour is incredible. To me, that tastes like pineapple.
Can't really comment because I haven't had pineapple. So.
Oh, haven't you? You've not eaten a pineapple? We'll have a bit more so you can remember what pineapple tastes like. If you were blindfolded and you were given a cube of that, you would think it was pineapple. It's a beautiful apple. So Zorza, Z-O-R-Z-A. Not available in the UK. You want to have a go at...
Now this has got a feel to it as well.
Yeah, that's really rough skinned, isn't it? It's
Yeah, but it's got a greasy.
Yes, it is greasy. A lot of apples, or well, a few apples, when they go ripe, they form a sort of waxy coating.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's one way you can tell if an apple is ripe. This is West Virginia Sweet. West Virginia Sweet. This was discovered by a person I know in America, Bill Mullins, on an abandoned farmstead in West Virginia, and he thought the flavour was so unusual he wanted it to be preserved, and so he sent me some cuttings.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's very sweet,
Mm.
but it's got other flavours as well. And this has got the sort of flavour which I describe as Parma violets. You might remember those sweets from years ago, Parma violets, and it's got the same chemical in it. It actually has a Parma violets flavour, and it also tastes a little bit like a pear. It's not a strong pear flavour, but it's got a hint of pear about it. And in quite a few of the tastings we've done, that one has come top.
Mm.
I like that, it's got a nice taste. You wouldn't want that taste every day, but it's really unusual.
Yeah, very nice.
Mm.
Oh, now this one's an unusual one.
Yeah, now this one, I've not grown this one. This was given to me by a friend that I visited 3 weeks ago, so it's been off the tree for that long. But he grows it, and he wanted me to taste it, so he gave me an apple. It's another red-fleshed one, and it's called Surprise, and it's spelled with a Z. Surprise with a Z. It's pink inside. This is actually being marketed in small amounts by Tesco's. Well, I think we should have eaten this probably a week ago. It's past its best probably. It's quite sweet, not bad. But it's gone over just a bit. But it's got an extraordinary skin. It's sort of orange, and it's got sort of speckles on it.
I've never seen one looking like that before.
No, and look at the shape of it. It's sort of egg-shaped again, a bit like Hidden Rose. So very interesting. If you see those in Tesco's, give them a try. Right, two old English ones now. Oh, by the way, surprise, I believe that originates in England. I don't know exactly where it originated from, my friend didn't tell me, but I'll have to try and find out. It's quite similar in appearance to grenadine. The skin is quite similar. Right, we've got now Darcy Spice. Darcy Spice is a nice green dessert apple from the Midlands.
They don't look so appealing, do they?
No, they don't. But you often find the green-skinned apples, they taste better.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Oh, it's quite good, that is.
It is.
Yeah, it's sort of middle of the road flavour again. A little bit like a supermarket apple, but there's something different and better about it. And it's sort of russeted. Can you see the skin? It's slightly rough. It's not what you call a russet, but it's got quite a lot of russet on it. Sort of midway between a smooth skin and a russeted skin. And the very last one for this afternoon, this used to be considered the best flavoured apple in England. Now let's see if I can find the freshest one. I think that's the freshest one. It's a Ribston Pippin, and it's from Yorkshire. And it's the parent of Cox's Orange Pippin. And I think it's even better.
Yeah, tastes like a Cox.
Does taste like a Cox, doesn't it? Yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'll eat a few of those. What do you reckon to that one?
Yeah, it's alright. But I still like some of those first ones what we had best, I think.
Which ones do you reckon?
I can't remember.
Well, you could always have another piece. I like that little one, the Wixon. That's nice.
Let's try.
Yeah, let's do that again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. And red sauce was nice.
Yeah.
I tell you
Even
what.
the Sutton Elms wasn't bad, was it?
Yeah, and I think that one is going to get juicier and sweeter in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
As I say, that was the first apple I'd taken off the tree, and it didn't come off very easily. It's not quite ripe. So the Sutton Elms is quite promising, I reckon.
So you've got lots of other apples around here, Nigel. What's the story about all these?
Well, these are ones that have been taking off the trees as they've been ripening, and some of these we'll be trying in a few days' time.
Ah, right.
We've got a very late Leicestershire apple here. You feel that one? That's one which we found in Whittick, and it feels like a bullet. Feel how hard it is.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near ripe yet. It came off the tree easy enough, but won't be fit to eat until about January or February. So that's interesting. We've got Chapman's Colossus here, a Leicestershire unique seedling, lovely cooking apple.
So what will you be doing with all these apples, Nigel?
Well, we can't keep pace with them all, so we're going to give some away to neighbours, or continue giving them away to neighbours, and we're also drying some. They make super Christmas presents if you package them up at Christmas time.
Yeah, that packet went down lovely.
Yeah, you know, a pound of apples gives you about an ounce and a half of dried apple.
Even Mum and Dad enjoyed them.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, Mum kept saying, "Have you got some?" I said, "No, God."
Well, I'll have to give you some more.
But yeah, no, they're really...
Yeah, the trouble is with the mid-season apples. See, these are nearly all mid-season apples. They do not keep. So if you can't keep pace with them, you've either got to find someone to give them away to, or put them on the compost. But when we get to the next lot of apples in about a fortnight, these are the really late ones, like this Whittick Pippin. The really late ones, they have very unusual flavours, some of them, and they will keep all winter. In fact, some of them we won't actually pick them until New Year. Christmas morning or later.
So they're not affected by frost and snow?
They are affected by extreme frost, but they're okay down to about -6 centigrade.
Which is about what we don't very often get it colder, do we?
No,
only every so many years. Mind you, they're forecasting a cold one this year.
Yeah, the Wittick pippin, that was okay. That's been okay every winter so far, apart from that really cold one that we had.
2010 was it?
2010, somewhere around there, yeah. And they went pulpy then, but all the other years they've been fine.
Yeah.
And you know, on Christmas morning you can see the fruit on the tree and it's covered in frost and the apples are perfectly happy.
As that year, folks, it went down to -15.5 Celsius.
Yeah, and every late apple we had got pulped, which is a shame.
Right then, Nigel, well, that was an interesting talk.
Okay.
Yeah. Shall we call it a day at that?
I think we're better. Thanks
for
for watching.
Video?
Yeah,
thanks for watching.